All right, we're back.
Wow, you guys really did your homework. That's the beautiful intro.
I feel bad because I didn't pick one for Kel because I was just testing it to see if I could do it, but he's in here watching with us now. So yeah, I love you.
Yeah, I don't know if he did homework as much as he probably stalked your Facebook page. I think that's what happened on that. I think that's where all the pictures probably came from, yours and Daniel's page, maybe. I'm not sure. So
We include Mr. Finkel from Comic Men in there, and Darren and Nelson from Unknown and Big Time Collectibles. I know you do some good work for them, so I just wanted to pay some respect to them as well. So, and then I know how important your family is to you, so I wanted to make sure they were in there. So,
thank you very much. It's a nice time capsule of things that is happening the last 2 years. Beautiful picture of my family, and there were pictures of Orlando as well. The first time I met you guys.
yes, sir.
Yeah, that was my first show to US after 13 years. So Orlando was a very special moment for me indeed.
It was a very special moment for us as well, where we started our friendship bond with you. So it's definitely a great moment.
Yeah. I mean, Orlando was a trip that was made possible by Daniel Scott of Scott's Collectibles.
Yes.
So I've not had the opportunity to visit a Comic Con in United States for like I said 13 years. So and when I joined Scott's Collectibles, that opportunity just happened. And that was the first. And then after that, we meet again, Ryan. We met again in NYCC last year.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That was the fun trip. That's where we got to hang out and really got to know each other. So
Yeah, I enjoyed that trip too very much. Yeah.
and then you got to go. I mean, not a long trip for you, but you had to do the Singapore Comic Con there with Kel. So I had some of those pictures in there as well. So
Yeah, last year was amazing, isn't it? I mean, to me personally, the fellowship that I made, last year was amazing. I got to know a lot of retailers, including you guys, and the opportunities that came after Orlando. It is crazy times, and I'm very thankful, that I met so many people in the Comic Con, and they gave me so much opportunities. It was like an avalanche of work, for
keep you a little busy.
So yeah, I'm very thankful of that, because I don't know whether you guys know, but prior to Scott Collectibles, I actually um, draw interiors as well. Because right now I think a lot of people see me as a cover artist, right? With all the covers that I've done, right? But actually, I years before that, I do a lot of interiors as well. But for some reason, not many people know that I draw interiors.
Well, and you're kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to the comic books, right? So something to kind of talk about. Obviously, like you just mentioned, you did interiors. We know you for your covers, especially now with the Nightwing series you've been doing. But you also have a color studio as well, where y'all do coloring.
Yeah, Comic Kaki Studio is a brand that I built more than 13 years, 14 years ago. The reason why I built that is I wanted to work with color artists who I can collaborate with to be able to color over my pencils, because my pencils um, a little bit uh, ink unfriendly, so I over all this while I've preferred to go direct to colors from my pencils, so, and in order to achieve the desired result, so I work with many local colorists, over the years, and then we kind of like over the years we developed a house style, and because of that I ventured more deeply into the business, getting more gigs for the studio, working with my guys as an art director. So that's a side thing that I do. I mean, apart from drawing, and I enjoy art directing colors as well.
And it's not just your covers. If I'm not, and I could be wrong, you can correct me, but like Nelson has his new Snake Eyes that Miko did for him. Y'all colored that for Miko, correct, Nelson?
Well, Nelson is just being too kind, he just want to put my name in there, but the heavy lifting is mostly done by my guys. My partner Sean Lee from Komikaki Studio. He is mostly the main kahuna, behind the studio. He does all the heavy lifting, the rendering. I'm just there as art director to engage, to get stuff right. So it's really no big deal.
So yeah, we want to go ahead and welcome everybody that's joined us right now. We do have Alan Quah online with us, as Julian says, on the line. He is with us right now, all the way from Malaysia. It is probably about 8 o'clock in the morning his time. So again, welcome, Alan. We appreciate you joining us. Also, everybody that's watching us, if you have a question for Alan, don't be shy. We may not get to every question here the hour that we're going to have with Alan, but if you have a question, please ask it, and we'll try to pop it up here on screen. We have a couple as well for Alan, but we want to make this interactive and make this fun for everyone. And again, Alan's taking time out of his day to join us. So again, like I said, ask questions if you have them. Again, but thank you to everybody. And so John said something on the disputed territory. So real quick, Alan, when did you actually get started drawing? What intrigued you to start drawing?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I've always loved drawing since I was a little kid, but I think I professionally, I would say about 13 years ago,
Okay.
Prior to that, I'm just like everybody else, an amateur artist, right? Mimicking all my favorite comic artists, drawing the way they draw, so mirroring them without really understanding the full fundamental, of the basic of drawing. You're just blindly, mimicking your idols, but I would say 13 years ago was really when I really believed that I should give this a go, and that's what I did. But my career probably really picked off about 6-7 years ago when I first had my opportunity with DC Comics. I did a short story for Empire Diaries. So I think nobody know about that. Empire Diaries was a TV series under the Warner brand. So and because of that, it has a short-lived presence in the DC Comics for a while. So I had an opportunity to draw for DC Comics back then 6 years ago. But well, I mean, it was just my first gig. My art was not really that fantastic, So after that, I was moving around a lot, doing a lot of other interiors, drawing for Legendary Comics as well, which is also part of Warner before they came out on their own. I did a Godzilla story with them, Then after that, I worked for many years with DW and Titan Comics before I joined Scott's Collectibles.
Okay, I know we let's go here. An old friend of yours here would like to ask you a question. Nelson, which Marvel character or title would you like to do an exclusive cover of?
Nelson will probably make it happen.
Nelson is itching to ask that question.
Yeah, he's already working on his next project, so he's
out a long time ago. He was just waiting to post.
Nelson is really a dear friend of mine. I mean, he is instrumental in providing me the space to work on my work on covers. When I joined Scott's Collectibles, Nelson was the first retailer to offer me an opportunity to work on an image title, a retailer variant for his shop, Crowded issue number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first relationship with Nelson, And after that, we have done multiple covers. In fact, we have just launched my 8th cover with Nelson for the Cimmerian, the Red News, just last week. So yeah, Nelson is a really dear friend to me right now. I mean, he have given me so many opportunities on my 8th cover, drawing for him. So yeah, to answer his question, if I ever get to work for Marvel, I think it's going to be a tie between Venom and Wolverine. If I ever want to draw my first Marvel cover.
There you go, Nelson. You have your project now.
I'm thinking Nelson one homage with Wolverine attacking Venom instead of the Hulk.
another 1-in-1. Eh?
Yeah, and he's already thinking that too. So, and James Lamb, there it is. I was about to pull this up. Thanks, Ryan. So there's a current or upcoming project that you're most excited for.
Current upcoming project. Well, I think my mindset is that if I were to accept a project, it does not necessarily means that it is a mainstream project. If I accept the project, that means I'm invested in that project, be it an indie book or even a big 2 project.
Mm-hmm.
To me, all the projects that I accepted is projects that I'm excited about. I was just as excited as drawing the Undistributed Territory for Michael Hinson as I'm drawing my next Nightwing cover. I just received an email from my boss at DC saying that to proceed with my next Nightwing cover.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm as excited. Drawing a self-published project for a customer versus a DC project.
Okay. Well, let's run back real quick. I know when we first met you, it was through Nelson, actually. And it was about 2.5 years ago when we opened up our store. We were just getting started. Nelson approached us about an exclusive to do, and we haven't met you yet, and we hadn't got to meet Daniel Scott yet. And of course, we talked to Nelson, we talked to James, and we teamed up with Nelson. And this is the cover when this book came out. Well, what happened there? Hold on a second.
And a brand instead of a overlay.
I put it under logo. Hold on.
Yep.
This is 101. How about this?
This is when non-IT have to do IT stuff.
Yeah, this is Prodigy #1, and I know that we had to go through some hoops here with. If you remember that, Nelson, I think.
No, I remember this. I remember that the original idea was a 007 cover.
Yes,
I love that one.
That would be awesome if they have approved that, but unfortunately, because of the license issue, they couldn't allow the homage to happen. And because of the back and forth, I remember instead of having a 1-week good schedule to draw a really awesome cover, I ended up having just a day to deliver. So I wish I could go back in time and relook into this cover. I know that I have something better to offer for that cover.
No, that cover was fine. We did well with it, and I think Netflix finally got on their gear here and announced it. So it even says Netflix on the back of the book. So, we were pretty happy with it. So that's the first time we had got to talk to you and talk to Daniel, and Nelson hooked all that. So we appreciate that. But like I said, I know that you before DC you were doing covers like that. You've done stuff with Image, and real quick, you got one of your buddies have asked a question. But anyway, so you moved on to that, and I know you talked a little bit about you just talked about the Michael Henson's book, independent book there. It's called the Disputed Territory. You want to grab that, Ryan?
Yep.
Called there it is. You just finished this one. Mike's a good friend of ours, so we've got the books. They're being printed right now. But you did cover A for him on this book, which is a Western. It's kind of put out by Four Leaf Comics. This cover is amazing. It is a gorgeous cover. And so tell us a little bit about that one. I know we sent the concept over to you. I know James helped push on this is his first ever cover as a first ever comic, and he went to you on that. So that is a gorgeous cover as well.
I was offered the project when Daniel told me about would I be interested in doing indie title, because he did mention that it is a friend of pastime, so so I didn't know anything about who is behind it, but Daniel was asking whether would I be interested in helping somebody who is doing his own self-publishing book, and an opportunity to draw a cover for him. I said, yeah, sure, why not? I'm always open to to new projects. I mean, especially when he said that it's going to be a Western. I've not drawn a Western before. So of course, in my heart of hearts, I hope that there is no horse involved. But after saying yes to it, then I sort of like sat on it for a while because there were just a few other projects that was always in the way, and Michael has been very patient with me, so by the time I got to it, it was more like he gave me a lot of space, really, to express what I need, on the cover. There wasn't really any restriction, which is what I love about working with the creative. There's a lot of creative freedom when it comes to covers. So when I proposed the idea to him, he just said, okay, let's do it. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
So it's just based on the gist of the main character, and he's sort of like his inner power comes from the whiskey, and the lady in the salon, so that was basically the creative brief that I have,
Right.
So when I did that, after I finished doing this cover, then one of my friends pointed out to me, do you know that you sort of like did a Logan and a Phoenix in your cover. You have indirectly channeled that energy in there, so if you can put up the cover again, then you know what I'm talking about. So you see that the cowboy looks a little bit like Logan, and then
that's your Marvel cover.
Yeah. and then the whiskey you can actually see. I swear to God, I didn't know that, but now that I'm looking at it, right, I can see an image of the phoenix on the glow of the whiskey.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
No, that is a gorgeous cover. All of them that you say that again, Ryan.
I said, be honest, Alan, you did that on purpose.
There's a question that popped up here from somebody we all know. What's your most memorable moment in your journey as an artist in this industry? It's a good question, Julie.
It's learning.
That's a tough question. Well, there are many memorable moments. I guess. But to me, I mean, I would like to name like one of the most amazing book that I've done, this and that, But I think if I put that all away, right, I think the most memorable are the friendships that I made along this journey, the publisher that I met, the editor that I work with, there are always this kind of segments in time, right, where I meet people and the opportunity that they gave me. I think I would say the human side of it is the most memorable for me. I mean, including you guys. I mean, I met you guys. Uh, through the same love, for comics, right? And then now we
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
friends. We are
Yeah.
talking. I think these are more memorable, because after everything is done, right? I'm not here anymore, right? And people were to search for my name, so we are talking about friendship more. I think apart from my work, right? So my,
Mhm.
my work will be like, you like this today, and then next year you're going to like something else, right? But the friendship is there, it's intact. To me,
Right.
that's most important. Yeah.
We did have
Yeah.
a question earlier, Alan, asking about current or upcoming projects with the Royal Pewter. I know you just didn't. Was it Wolverine that just came out?
Yeah. Well, Royal Selangor is a very special project to me, because it is, to me, it's a patriotic project, really, because Royal Selangor is a Malaysian brand, you know, um, and it is the first time they got the license from Marvel and DC to produce a series of statues. And I've been working for them for close to 3 years now, and I have done close to 2 dozen pieces of statues for them. And currently I'm very excited to be working on 5 new pieces of statues for Marvel and DC. So, but I can't review them yet. But it is
I was just about to
going to
ask.
be some. Yeah, it's going to be something really special. Special in the sense that it reflects on me as a comic artist, a statue creator, and also a comic fan. Maybe one day we can talk about that again when the statue
Sure.
is out. It's going to be out by probably August or end of the year. Yeah.
Nice. I have to pick one up and get you to sign the base for me. So.
Sure. I'll be happy to. Hey,
So
McLean is here.
Yes, McLean is here. He actually was here just a minute ago, and I hadn't brought it up, but he said, "Thank you, Alan, for all your hard work in the comic book industry. Very inspiring." And then he followed up with this question here: what medium do you work in or prefer overall as an artist?
Hmm. Uh, Good question, actually. Well, my published work is mostly my finished pencils. You know, uh, I would say about 85% of my work is drawn in pencils. That is my published style. But to be honest, the one that really uh, excites me the most are my life's drawing sketch style, the ink wash style. I hope that I can develop that to be a published style one day, where I have the courage to just let go, without thinking too much, just go in there unhinged, draw with all the raw energy of the sketch style, onto my published work. That is my ambition, really.
Well, the problem with that, Alan, is you've got to use your good brushes in order for that to happen. So.
I know where that came from. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably
So
asleep
I,
right now, but I had to pay homage to him. So.
yeah, I've been receiving a lot of flack about that, isn't it? About me using a cheap brush on my sketches. But the funny thing is that that cheap brush actually have gone through a lot of mileage with me. And it is one of my most fond drawing material. I mean, even though that I have those $100 a pop brush, right? But I'm still using the $2 brush.
You do some amazing work with it, so keep using the $2 brush, Alan. Keep doing it.
yes.
Thank you.
Alexander Wong, are there any artists you would want to enjoy time having coffee with? I know you've got quite a list of artists that you respect and look up to. I believe even in the intro, I had John Byrne in there when you got to meet him. But Alexander would like to know if there's any that you would want to sit down and have morning coffee with.
Well, I don't know, man. I think I'll be very intimidated to have coffee with a fellow artist unless he is like as unpublished as me. I mean because most of my idols are really the top guys, right? I idolize a lot of the top guys, in the industry. I look up to them, to see the intensity of them getting published is amazing, because I know as an artist it is a lot of work, right? Just to get one cover done, or just to even get an issue done, right? It is really a lot of work, and I really respect a lot of the my peers in the industry. But if you ask me who I would like to have coffee with, I would say Doug Mankey. Doug Mankey is an artist that I idolize a lot, and of course John Chesterton. He became a very dear friend of mine over the course of last year. Giving me a lot of good advice on how to brand myself. And of course, last year when I had the opportunity to sit down and watch Doug Mankey draw, it's an amazing experience. But unfortunately, we didn't have time to have dinner the last time in New York. So I hope to meet up with him again, for coffee one day.
Absolutely. If there's anything I can do to help with that, you just let me know. So
Sure.
we did have a customer. We had a person actually message the page and want us to show this artwork. Said it's one of your earlier pieces. So I don't know.
Gosh, this is like 20.
It's like 2011 there.
2011 or 2012, I think.
Yep, that's from Leonard.
So yeah, Leonard. Yeah, Leonard is my dear friend from Singapore.
Do you think Julian just got jealous?
I think Julian might have just got jealous.
Yeah, that piece is very instrumental to my career, actually. Back then I was still this wannabe artist, trying to make it, in the industry, trying to figure out how am I going to get published, and I was just trying out in Malaysia. I don't even have the idea how to reach out to editors in US. And for that matter, Singapore is just 400 kilometers away from us. It's a 4 hours drive, down south. Singapore is a small country, but it has a really strong following in comics. And Singapore Comic Con by Reed is the first Asian show, over there, right? And I was trying to break into Singapore, and don't know how to do it, right? But that particular piece, that Joker drawing, was the one that caught the interest of a comic shop in Singapore, G&B Comics, and Leonard is G&B.
Okay.
Right. So we became friends, because of that piece. I made friends with the comic shop, and they started promoting my work at the shop, and got commissions for me, so that I can afford to get my ticket down to visit Singapore and attend the Comic Con shows. So yeah, they pretty much got my career started too. Back in the days. Yeah.
Something interesting when he attends these cons. Not only does he go to the con, but he gets there a few days early generally, and he starts shopping all the local comic shops at the con. So you'll see pictures of him who's in New York, all the midtowns, and he checks out the local comic shops. So if you're local to a con that he's coming to, maybe show up to your local shop the day before. He may be in shopping. So
Julian's got another good question, and I'm gonna pop this up because I'm watching everybody that's popping on, watching the show, and there are some of the local artists that we know that is watching right now with a lot of friends of ours that are local artists. So this is actually a really good question for Julian. Every now and then he pulls one up, but this one's really good. So what is a piece of advice and knowledge you would give any up and coming artists that would help or benefit them the most, in your opinion?
Hmm. I think I would say the best advice I can give is to be humble. Because I think humility goes a long way. It be it whether you are really good or you are just mediocre. But
Mhm.
I think if you show the humble side of yourself, I think it will go a long way in the industry because I always believe that drawing is an act of repetition. You know, the more you repeat, the better you become. So everybody will become better one day. So if you're humble and along this journey, you meet a lot of friends, you're not an ass, right? So people will take care of you automatically. I think,
Mhm.
yeah.
Nelson. So for those that don't know, Nelson and Alan and Kel went out to dinner when they were at MegaCon in Orlando last year. And if you haven't seen the turtle cover that Alan did, it's homage to that when they found a fly in their ramen. So Nelson wants to just have you confirm in front of everybody that Kel gave the waiter a drop kick in the face. And
Yeah.
Kel followed up with, I'm curious about that myself. So he evidently get too many pina coladas. So
If you squint your eyes, right, you'll probably see that Kale resembles a little bit like a young Bruce Lee. So I'll leave it to your imagination.
McLean wants to know, what is the oldest drawing tool you still own to this day that you refuse to let go of and or replace?
Ah.
Is that your $2 brush?
Oh, he's going to show it.
This one. This one. Wait, I can't figure out. Here you go.
There you go. There you go. Is that the brush you were using on Swamp Thing the other day?
Sorry?
Is that the brush you were using on Swamp Thing the other day?
Yeah, that's the one.
Julian, when we did show the Joker, wanted to know if it was still available and if you'll take PayPal, Venmo, direct wire, or whatever. Obviously, that one's not available. But concerning commissions, I know you and I have talked. If somebody were wanting to get a commission from you, one, is your commission list open right now? And two, how do they go about doing that?
At the moment, my commission list is quite full. I think it would be in good form for me not to take any more in respect to the customers that is waiting. But I will definitely be opening up again in May. I plan to clear off the list as much as I can during the lockdown, and hopefully next month I can open up the list again. But by all means, contact Daniel so that he can arrange properly to have you on the list. If you don't mind waiting, there's a waiting list at Daniel's.
Yeah, and for those that aren't aware, when he says Daniel, he's talking about Daniel Scott at Scott's Collectibles. And so you can go to their website and contact Daniel that way to get on his commission list. Ryan Palmer says, what is the most recent design that surprised you upon completion? One that you felt conveyed exactly what you set out to do?
Wow. Wow, that's a that's a tough question, Ryan.
Leave it to Paul.
I think the one that really give me the feels, right, is definitely TMNT 101. The reason why is because it is a cover that don't have really a superheroic moment in it, but rather it reflects the human side of the human side of us, the regular thing that we do. That cover which I did of the turtles, right, in a ramen shop. I think that is one that I'm really proud of. That I managed to achieve the desired result. If I see it in my head, it's very rare that, for me to draw a cover that I can put on paper as exactly how I see it in my head. And GMNT 101 is definitely one of them.
I'm pulling that image down right now so we can show it to everyone. Just one moment. Because I love that cover too. I love the story behind this cover. This was obviously the one we were just talking about with the ramen and the fly and everything. So
yeah, this one. There's a lot of things going on in there, you know. There are a lot of funny moments in there. There's also a sticker that says "place weapon here," you know, to invoke a sense of humor in it. And if you dissect the drawing far behind, you can see the first appearance of Nelson in there, the first appearance of Phil and myself.
over the shoulder of the server there is Nelson and Kel and Alan eating their ramen.
And then there's also appearances of a few of my my buddies in Malaysia. That is right at the end, you know. My kids are in there. My wife is in there waiting in line at the back, you know. So so it's really a fun cover to draw, you know, to have you know, all these little cute things that is happening at the back.
Nelson, Julian wants to know if that book is still available. I believe it is on your site, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Big Time Collectibles, I believe, they have that cover available on Nelson's site.
Casey, do you get to share your art with your own kids? Do they show interest in following in your footsteps or being part of the industry too? Which I'm going to blow you up, and you can show what's behind you there if you'd like, Alan.
Hi, Casey. Yeah. Well, I draw a lot at home. I used to work in my studio, and but of late, the past 2.5 years, I've been working from home a lot, and because of that, you know, as a comic artist, with the kids growing up, they try to follow my footsteps, especially my daughter. She draws a lot. When she was younger, you know, she will spend hours over hours, you know, on the table mimicking me, you know, drawing like as though she's a professional. And there was also a time when she will follow me to the local Comic Cons and draw commissions for people, you know, for ringgit. That's equivalent to 25 cents US. So she enjoyed you know, drawing, but of late, because she enjoyed reading more these days, she is putting a bit of focus on the reading.
Wow.
Did we lose him for a minute?
We may have lost him.
This happened last night on the test, remember? I mean, he is in Malaysia, so the feed, we're not sure how the feed will be, so he'll be back in just a minute here.
While we're waiting for him to come back, so he's not here to get mad at me for showing this. The other night he went live, and evidently the air conditioner in his art room has gone out, and because of the lockdown, he's not able to have someone come out and repair it. So he was actually using his child's art table when he was live doing his swamp thing.
Oh my goodness!
That picture in a message. So I'm gonna share that with everyone real quick before he sees that.
He'll be back. Yeah, he just signed out, so it looks like he's about to log back in here. So when Alan gets back in, we'll bring you back in the feed. But this happened last night. We did a live test with Alan and Kel, making sure. And here he is. He's back.
Coming back in now. There we go.
Welcome back.
Sorry. something went wrong there.
That's okay.
So did I manage to answer the question live just now, or did we get cut off?
It got cut off at the end, just talking about how she's been reading more lately and less drawing.
Yeah. So that's So I managed to cover that.
Yep.
So she started to read more this year. So as you know, as a parent, I'm not going to force her to draw. You know, you must draw. You know, you must be Alan Quah's daughter. Draw. Just let her be. You know, whatever she wants to do. You know, I'm here to encourage her.
And then while you were gone, I'll go ahead and show it so you don't get too mad at me, Alan. I did show this picture of
my trainer.
I figured I'd show you working at your kids' table. So
that should be the new Facebook challenge that everybody has to do that pose while they're drawing.
That was last week.
won't mention any names, but she very much enjoyed me showing that picture because she's laughing about it. You can see it there.
Yeah, she's happy to show the bad side of me.
We have people join in that wanted to say hello. We got Lisa that said hello. Ryan Starr said hello, Alan.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Lisa.
Chris. I'm just clicking questions. So if you have something you want to ask, tell me to stop. So
No, go ahead. I'm good.
okay. So McLean, Alan, well, great job on the Forgotten Isle #1 cover, which we haven't even shown.
Oh,
Second,
we will.
the idea behind you wanting to incorporate a tree on the cover of that issue. What was your plan?
Sorry, can you put up the question again?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Alan.
What's the idea behind you wanting to incorporate a tree on the cover? Oh, that's all Chris Hayes' idea. Chris is instrumental in art directing the cover. Actually, I'm just the grunt guy, who do the grunt work. It's all Chris' idea.
No.
It was actually Cole's idea, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was actually my son's idea on the tree. But let's think about it. When I first came to you with this idea, and you drew up the concepts, and you gave me 2 of them, and I said, "Oh, I like the idea with the creepy tree," and you were like, "Oh, I do too. I want to draw something kind of haunted," because that's what you and I were talking about. We wanted something to look haunted on the tree, and you absolutely killed this cover. I mean, this is by far one of my favorites. So, and I have to be biased with that one. So sorry, people that are watching, but yeah, I absolutely love this. And a lot of times you're not hearing a lot of people saying, okay, well, you did a cover of a comic book and you put a tree on it. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand when you see the tree. It's a creepy tree with these bloody garments, in the wind, and then this blood coming off the island with this, this symbol on the bottom. I'm like, you did an amazing job on that. So
Thank you. Well, I'm a big fan of Bernie Wrightson. I think many people know that, and sometimes people also suspect that my style is leaning towards Bernie Wrightson. Probably, subconsciously, I am trying to get the energy, of Bernie, and I always respect the fact that the way Bernie draws swarms and trees and stuff like that, especially Swamp Thing, right? No doubt. So yeah, drawing that tree sort of like invoke that memory again. The those awesome trees that Bernie likes to draw.
mm-hmm.
I just want to show this one because I specifically went looking for a Star Wars by Alan Quah a couple months back. It came down to this one. Alan will be doing a Revan for me at some point once cons start back up again, but I had to share that one, Alan.
This was a commission I did for one of my customer, like I think 5 years ago, when I was dabbling in ink wash. I was experimenting with ink wash, and this customer allows me the platform to explore my ink wash. So yeah, it was a fun drawing.
Can I have that customer's information so I can offer to buy that from them? Because that would look good hanging up here in my office. That is gorgeous.
Just get with Alan and have him do something similar for you.
I could do that too, but this one's already done. I don't have to wait.
I'll be happy to do another Star Wars drawing for sure. Yeah.
Starting in May.
Yep.
I'll be on the commission list in May.
Sure.
Well, if Expo happened, talk to him at Expo. So.
Daniel.
Hi,
Daniel.
Do you like Norman Rockwell as an inspirational artist style?
Of course. Rockwell is like the father of expression. I follow his work quite extensively when I was younger. Just to dissect how he invoked all these human emotions in his drawing is amazing. He is so detailed in the acting, of the face, the human body, and the hands, and even to the extent of the feet. Sometimes the way the person sit, right, actually portray the feeling that he's trying to to show, in his drawing. Is amazing. He's an amazing artist.
Very good. I did not know that. So good question, Daniel.
Yeah.
Julian wants to know, what are some of your favorite hobbies or things to do outside of comics? So not comic related. Obviously, we know I know you enjoy running in the mornings. So
Well, nobody know about this except for a few guys in Malaysia. But I play a lot of snooker when I wasn't that busy. And I play a bit of 9-ball as well.
interesting.
So
all
I
around.
like to play pool. Actually, nobody knows that.
Yeah.
And Daniel just following up with his Norman Rockwell agreed. I feel that Rinston and others were inspired by him. So,
So
thought that Star Wars looked awesome. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say. So we know that you draw, and you're always busy drawing. Do you ever take time to doing that? You do a lot of comic book covers. Is there a certain series or a certain comic that you enjoy reading?
I always tell people, that I'm a comic fan first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a comic collector first and a comic artist second. So over the years, I have acquired quite an extensive collection of comic books. But unfortunately, right, I just own comic books. I don't really have time to read them these days. But here I know that I own that particular book. So that is that is a really nice feeling to have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think during my off time, I enjoy bagging my comic books. There are a lot of books, even over here, but I don't want to show it here, but because it's really messy. I have boxes and boxes of books that I have not bagged and boarded properly yet. So every time when I have a little bit of free time, I will I'll put some books into the back end box, and then I'll put it into the box. So it's still a work in progress.
Yeah,
I think Judy's question at that in New York about someone that's there in your household would like for you to get rid of some of those comic books. Well, Alan, if you don't mind, we have somebody here that's joined us. You okay if I bring him in?
Sure.
All right.
Hi.
Hey.
where's his intro?
I was like looking around in the backstage.
Yeah, he was hanging off in the backstage. I had to bring him on stage real quick. So
Yeah, I hope my connection is stable though. I got disconnected for quite a bit just now.
we'll try. We'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
if you get connected, we'll bring you. Just come back in. That happened to Alan a minute ago. So
Yep.
Okay there, buddy.
I'm very odd, the one with the hair, man.
We could go live if you have somebody there with you that can shave your head real quick. I mean, you look like the rest of us.
Yeah, I should wear a
you're
cap.
gonna shave your head.
Yeah.
I thought you promised you're gonna shave your head for the show.
you know what we talked about last night, Kel?
we are under lockdown.
So, Alan, Kel, I'm just curious, how far apart are you guys? I know, obviously not in the city, but how far?
There's like two separate island in Malaysia.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm on the West Malaysia and Alan's in East Malaysia.
Gotcha.
That's like 2 hours flight time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how long on a boat?
On the boat,
I-
I'm not sure on the
It
boat.
normally take me about 3 hours swim to visit him.
3-hour swim?
3 hours swim.
That's super fast.
It's a bald head. It's aerodynamic through the water. So
Tell everyone how Alan karate chopped the table in half when he saw the fly in his ramen. Alan can tell that himself. He knows
That
that
was,
story better.
All I know is every time Nelson tells that story, it gets crazy and crazier. Like first time it was just a fly, and the next thing I know, there was y'all karate chopping people and kicking people and had to fight their way out. And I mean, then the turtle showed up and they joined in. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
this
it's
is where the
different every time.
hashtag the ramen noodle gang came from.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Spencer.
ramen gang.
Yes, the ramen gang. So Spencer says hello.
Hey, Spencer.
Yep.
Hi,
Hello.
Spencer.
So good. Oh my goodness. So he's got Alec on here and there's a lot of people on here now. So again, guys, feel free to ask questions right now. I know we'll be wrapping up with Alan pretty soon and we'll be bringing Kel on. But we brought him on here together so Alan could give Kel a hard time. So since you two are in Malaysia right there together, let me ask, Kel, does he give you a lot of advice being that you're a little bit younger of an artist than Alan? And do you ever go to Alan for advice?
Oh yes, of course. Alan has like helped me all the time. He's giving me advice like of course being humble in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot to learn from him. Looking at him striving to get to become acknowledged in the industry. Yeah, I learned to be patient to do that. Alan has been a very, very great big brother to me.
Well,
But,
I'll probably butcher the term, but it's senpai.
Yeah, that's how you call it in Japanese.
Yeah, in Japanese. So,
yeah,
what would
you know,
what would be the
fairness,
Malaysian term for that for Alan?
Sorry?
What would you call Alan in that term of senpai? Is it the same thing or is it
Yeah,
different?
it's the same thing. Like
Okay.
like Alan senpai. Yeah.
Alan, are you okay with that? Living up to that? You called that?
I mean, like I said, to me, recognition and everything is not important. To me, the more important is the friendship. We develop a friendship when we join Scott's Collectibles, and even beyond that. I know Cleo when he was still a student, and when I first saw his work, I thought that this young kid is really talented. I wish I was that talented when I was his age. But yeah, I mean, it's very rare to find a raw talent like that in the industry. And he's a nice kid, willing to learn. And then when we became friends, we were just sharing among ourselves. I mean, it's not really. I don't see as me teaching him. I got nothing to teach, to be fair. But
No.
we share.
He's
I mean,
just being
we share.
humble.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's his time, I mean, he's young, he's energetic, he draws really well, I'm just there to, as a big brother, to support him, and cheer him on. So basically, we cheer each other on. He have a good cover. I say, yeah, damn good, right? And then when I have mine, and then we just support each other. I think that's the way to go, right? In the industry, whether you are friends, you're really close or whatever, right? I always believe in supporting my peers, right? I mean, if you got nothing better to say, just move on, right? I mean, but by all means, support each other. That's the only way for us to grow together.
When y'all had the book that Scott's put out, the left and right, where it was the joint art pieces that was in it and everything, that was really cool. And then I thought it was fun. I believe Alan, your banner at the time was a Marvel character, and Kale's banner was a DC character, and yet Kale ended up doing Marvel covers, and you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. That's really strange.
Chris says that he can make better noodles, just so you know. I don't know how Lavinia. And Brian, I'm trying to let you know that eventually, if you learn how to catch the fly before it gets in the ramen, then you don't have to worry about it. So.
Oh yeah, we gotta train for that. Asian style.
Daniel. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and ask Daniel's question.
Okay. Have either of you ever printed in Spectrum art books?
No, not for me.
No, me either.
Yeah.
That was a quick no then. Go ahead, Chris.
Julian took my question, so that's okay. I'll come up with another one in a minute.
All right. So for Alan Cal both, what has been your favorite city and con you have attended and done so far? I think I know Alan's answer, but I'm curious to hear. So.
I mean, in all fairness, I have special spot for the city, the cons that I visited, right? It's very difficult to find like my favorite one. I mean, I enjoy Florida. There was a time when I got to meet you guys. So that has a special moment there as well. I developed a closer friendship with Nelson, right? And with my colleagues at Scott's Collectibles. So it has a special moment there. And then New York, I get to hang out with you more, Ryan, right? And then with the other retailers, the building of the friendship. So it's always more important. So New York has its moment for me. Florida has its moment for me as well.
I expected you to say Singapore because of how many friends you do have in Singapore and everything. So
Singapore for sure. I mean, Singapore is for me, it's like eternal gratitude because of the friendship developed, with the people in Singapore. They have been very kind to me. They have always followed me whenever I have a cover. They will support. So I'm truly grateful. To that as well. Yeah.
There we go. Turn that down. Cal, how about you, sir?
Yeah. Like the amount of con that I've been to is exactly the same as Alan. That we have been to MegaCon, New York Comic Con, and Singapore Comic Con. And these three in last year, three of them that means a lot to me. Like I can't really pick which one is my favorite though, because the people are the same, almost the same. The retailers are there. Yeah, Alan is with me. I got all these big brothers looking after me. I'm very happy. I'm very well taken care of. So I love all of them. Yeah. And I really miss those though. I would like to go again, but we are all under lockdown.
Soon, my friend. Hopefully.
Okay, so yeah, I have a question for both of you, and I know that you both worked on a couple of covers. Is there a certain cover that you have both talked about, or something you would both like to work on together? Listen up, Nelson.
They've done one for Nelson.
They've done one for Nelson, yeah, but I don't know if there's something different, whether it's a Marvel title or a DC title that they would like to collaborate together on that you guys have talked about, or just something in the future that you think would be kind of cool to do.
Oh,
This is a
interesting.
tough one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I ever have a chance to get into the Marvel system, I think it would be cool to collaborate an X-Men title with Kale.
Mm-hmm.
Just to do like an epic fight scene. Right?
Yeah.
Or wrap around cover, Kale do all the good guys and I do all the bad guys.
Oh yeah. That one would be fun. Yeah.
You have to let Cal do it first, though, because he may mess up the heads and have to throw them in his trash pile and start back over again. So.
Yeah. X-Men is a good choice.
Okay. I am all out of questions for both of them, Ryan. It's you. Or...
We'll ask that for Cal here in a minute when it's just him.
Okay.
Nelson, I just would like to say that Nelson has said that I'm a fourth member of the Ramen Gang, so just want y'all to know that. Daniel said, Spectrum goes around the world each year and gathers all different mediums of art from each year and publishes the collection is published in a large hardback book. That's what Spectrum is, but no, neither one of them have been in that. So, here's Nelson's new cover for Cal and Alan. Here we go.
I'll draw My Little Pony.
What'd you say, Cal?
I will choose My Little Pony.
I was thinking of the same.
The thing is,
Transformers.
That will be fun.
if you're going to do it, you got to have Nelson riding the pony.
Nelson has to be riding the unicorn. That if someone could draw that, that'd be great. Julian said Joker versus Godzilla because, of course, Julian wants Joker somewhere. So.
Well, Godzilla. I would love to draw Godzilla again. I miss drawing that.
We could do King Kong versus Godzilla, something like that. So, and then Daniel, I want to see a fight between Hulk versus, and I cannot pronounce that, so I'm not trying.
Zaraki Kenpachi.
There it is.
Zaraki Kenpachi, the character from Bleach manga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Nelson the unicorn. So, Alan, Transformer, I asked you to draw the unicorn. There was one night we were doing our show and Nelson joined, and Chris accidentally called it unicorn and was talking to Nelson, and so that's where Nelson's unicorn.
It's stuck ever since. It was instead of Unicron, I just threw it out as unicorn, and that's
now I get it.
That's what we've stuck that way ever since.
I asked for you to throw Unicron in your Transformers cover, but you didn't put him in there. So.
Now I get it. I was wondering what the unicorn is all about.
Yep, that's what it was all about. Trying to get you to add Nelson in there. So, all right, Alan, I think we're out of questions at this point, unless there's stuff you want to talk about. And then otherwise, we'll get back to your day, and we'll take up some of Kale's time and let people ask him some questions.
Sure. Thanks for having me, guys. I hope you all have a good evening. And as usual, don't be a hero. Stay indoors. Take good care of yourself and stay healthy.
Absolutely.
Same for everyone else as well.
We want to get back to having cons so we can see each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Alan, for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Take care, bro. Take care.
Just messaging back. So.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
Alan.
Alan.
Bye-bye.